The future is fusion.
It's been nice to know that with every Nintendo home console since the Wii, a new entry in Shin'en's Fast Racing series will be there. And alongside the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, their latest gift to futuristic racing comes in the form of Fast Fusion. While Fast RMX on Switch was an impressive expanded port, Fusion is a proper full-fledged sequel, introducing new mechanics and gameplay elements to make the high-speed phase-shifting races the fastest, most challenging, and most fun they've ever been. So with introductions out of the way, this is Fast Fusion, a mixing and matching adrenaline rush.
Yama Crest.
Fast Fusion is all about racing at hypersonic speeds on gravity-defying tracks, with a wide variety of racing machines created by fusing two machines together. The series' unique phase-shifting mechanic returns, where you change your machine's highlight color, or phase, between blue and orange to take advantage of various track elements and keep up the pace. Collecting coins scattered around the track is also vital, as they fill your boost meter for even more speed. While in previous games, there were color-coded jump pads to hop over gaps, that ability has now been mapped to the new Hyper Jump button, which allows you to jump in the air at will to clear obstacles and make shortcuts. You'll have to be mindful of where you're jumping from and where you're landing, but a well-timed hyper jump can be most advantageous. For example, if you manage to land on top of another machine, you get an instant boost meter refill for your trouble. Boosting into other machines also slows them down, but keep in mind your opponents can play just as rough. Using the trigger buttons to lean your machine assists with taking turns, or slightly adjusting your position to avoid obstacles. If you've played any of the previous fast racing games, Fusion will feel like coming home, though it may take a bit of practice to get used to the hyper jump and avoid hitting the button on accident. At least it was for me. But once you've gotten a handle on the new and improved techniques, you'll be unstoppable.
You reach first place!
Fusion features 12 new tracks that will test your phase shifting and hyper jump skills. That total is noticeably smaller after coming from RMX, but it has grown a bit since launch thanks to the addition of 3 remastered tracks from Neo. Each track has you rushing, twisting, and turning through natural biomes, harsh weather and climates, and even outer space. The phase shifting spots come in the form of boost pads, plus boost gates that you'll have to cleanly jump through to reach. While there's plenty of coins on the track to fill your boost meter, you're also fighting with the rest of the pack to reach them first. But eagle-eyed racers will also notice that there are coins in the air to collect, and these fill your meter a lot more than the ones on the ground. They're often suspended just above obstacles that will wreck you if your aim's off, but the reward is worth the risk. Jumping off the beaten path is also how you reach useful shortcuts. A quick glance at the minimap will help you locate them. You know how in recent Mario Kart games, you can sometimes touch the start line sign and give it a little spin? Fusion decided to have a little fun with this and take it a step further. If you can thread the needle and jump through the pink transparent gate without hitting the metal parts, you'll get a full boost meter, perfect for getting you back up to speed when your meter's empty or keeping your momentum going. While all the new tracks are solid additions, I have to give a shout out to Yama Crest. It's a wild roller coaster ride from start to finish, and I'd even go as far to say it's the best track we've had in the series. With the freedom that comes with the hyper jump, each track both new and old embraces that openness, and challenges players to get creative to figure out the fastest lap possible. At first glance, Fast Fusion features the same 15 machines playable in RMX, and you'll have to do a few races with them as is from the start. But once you've earned a few coins from winning races, you'll be able to try out the game's namesake in the Fusion shop, where you select 2 machines and fuse them to create a new one.
Fusion. Xylem PLS.
Fusions combine the stats, design elements, and even the names and logos of both machines to yield unique results. You can fuse any pair of machines you like, and there's hundreds of possibilities to race with. It's worth pointing out that the order in which you choose machines to fuse matters, meaning the fusions are permutations rather than combinations. For example, if I were to fuse my main machines from Neo and RMX, the Kamigori and Vasp, I'd get the Kamasp, but doing so the other way around makes the Vigori. It's worth trying out different orders of machines for fusions, as some pairings in a specific order have better chemistry with each other, which is designated by a letter grade from C to A to summarize its overall performance. You can only fuse from singular machines you have available, so if I wanted to fuse the Bliss with something else, but it's currently fused, I have to dismantle it first. This is where the fusion history comes in handy, as it keeps track of every fused machine you've made so far, with sorting options to compare stats, and also lets you quickly recreate them. I've found that the Kamigori plus almost anything looks cool, like with the Magaiva to create the Kamagaiva, and a lot of machines I fused with the Spark tend to have super effective boost ability, like with the Zevel to create the Zavark. Or I can just combine the two favorite machines to create the Kamark for a bit of both worlds. The more powerful fusions are more expensive, but you'll be shown the cost before you spend anything, and dismantling fusions refund some of your coins to help afford your next one. And if you want some inspiration on which fusion to make next, consider replicating the randomized machines that show up on the main menu. With 210 fusion possibilities, Fast Fusion's playable roster alone offers a ton of variety. The fast racing games have been known for getting impressive graphics and performance, despite the limitations of the hardware they had to work with, but Fusion was able to really amp things up thanks to the Switch 2's improved visual capabilities. The game features a handful of graphics modes, letting you prioritize between quality or performance, with most of them running at a solid 60 frames per second. This is especially impressive given the upgrades in model and texture quality. Compared to how shiny and clean the previous games looked, Fusion's art style has a bit more of a grittier look to it. Not in a bad way, just a different one. And the work that must have gone into making sure every fusion merged together nicely is to be applauded. Equal praise should go to the announcer, who recorded lines pronouncing every single machine fusion in the game, and some of those couldn't have been easy to read.
Kyarler PLS. Zerpa Genetics. Svast Optics.
The game's most recent update added a photo mode, allowing you to capture your high-speed moments from a different perspective. What's also remained consistent is the soundtrack, featuring new high-energy techno beats that perfectly match the game's breakneck speeds. You can also enjoy listening to songs in the jukebox, which also has selections from the previous games, including the first Fast Racing League, so longtime fans can be reunited with songs they probably haven't heard in a while. Fusion boasts a handful of modes to get your racing fix at subsonic, supersonic, and hypersonic speeds. The bulk of your playtime is spent in championship mode, where you pick a speed class which determines difficulty, and a 3-race cup. When starting out, you'll quickly realize that everything in this game costs in-game money to access, including additional cups and the ability to fuse machines. You earn points based on your finish position in each race, and the racer with the most points at the end wins the championship. Subsonic League is on the slow side, definitely meant for new players to get a handle on the controls and mechanics, but things pick up once you unlock the supersonic, and especially hypersonic leagues. The computer opponents push you on the harder difficulties, but they can make mistakes on some tracks, and aren't always consistent with what place they finish in. So solid racing on your part, with some room for errors usually enough to make the podium at the end. Winning cups isn't super necessary, it just expedites the process for unlocking things, as you're rewarded with extra coins on top of those you collected in races based on how well you did, and you can choose to spend them on more cups to race, or better machines to make faster fusions to help you out. If you're looking to race with friends, you have options to either play split screen or wirelessly. Local multiplayer supports 4 players, but there's also compatibility with the Switch 2's Game Share feature, to play with someone else using only one copy of the game. It theoretically works online, though it's no viable alternative to proper online matchmaking, which is strangely absent here despite being in previous games. If you want to take a break from championships, or quickly make some extra cash, you can take on some time trials. Each track on every speed class has a developer time to beat, and setting a new record for the first time nets you a prize money reward. Finally, there's Superhero Mode, which is a single race challenge with additional rules. The tracks are mirrored, your boost meter now doubles as a health meter F-Zero style, you can't crash or fall of course, and obviously you have to come in first. See how many of them you can nail in your first try. Each first successful attempt on a superhero run also gives you prize money. While the grind for coins can be rough at first, winning championships on the faster speeds and fusing better machines as you go eases the process, and it won't be too long before you'll have more than enough funds to keep fusing and racing with whatever machines you want. The Switch 2 at launch ended up being a great place to try out racers old and new, and Fast Fusion is one of the shining examples that proves why. If you've long since mastered RMX on Switch, or heard great things about that game and want to see what the Fast Racing series is all about, you can't go wrong with Fusion. Hyperjumping adds a new layer of complexity to the two-tone racing gameplay, the tracks put up a challenge, and there's hundreds of fused machines to check out and discover which ones are for you. The $15 price tag is a pretty sweet deal too, if you're looking to get your racing fix on your new console without breaking the bank. Thanks for keeping this fast and fun tradition going, Shin'en. Hope it continues sometime in the future whenever the next Nintendo console drops. As always, this has been fun, and I'm already looking forward to covering another amazing racing game. So I hope you'll check out what I've got in store for next time, and thank you for watching.
You reach first place! Congratulations!